in real estate. And my guest today is Nicholas Di Visconte. How are you, Nick?
I'm doing great, Joe. Thank you for having me. How are you?
You very good, very good. So you're now probably, I think, the fourth or the fifth YPNer, top 20, under 40 years old that I've had on this program. And well, let's get to your story first. First of all, how long have you been in real estate?
This is my 4th year in real estate.
Nice, nice. And give us a little background about yourself.
So about me, I grew up in Visconte, bounced around from Suffolk County to Florida, back to Suffolk County for better schooling. And I actually got into real estate because of my father. So my parents actually own a large music lesson company. So they send teachers to your home, teach you whatever instrument you want for as long as you want. I can give you the pitch later for their company, but he didn't get bored, but he wanted something to do, additionally, because he just had to make the schedules, and then he's like, what do I do? So he decided to do real estate because his brothers do real estate. So I saw my dad do that for a while, and I was working at corporate AT&T, and you hit 130% the quota, then they're like, okay, 125 is your new quota. Then you go up more, then they want this, they want more, they want this. There's only a certain amount of people that come into the store, so you can't go any higher. So he was always telling me, he's like, hey, you want to help more people, I can give a free screen protector or free car charger away, but like, how much am I helping them? I wanted more. I wanted to actually be important in people's lives and help change lives. So what I decided to do, and based off of his advice, he's like, well, if you want to, A, help more people, and B, make more money, do things that have a larger spread or are worth more money. So he started getting into real estate and watched him, admired him. He went from a couple different companies, but they actually live in Florida now, and he does real estate full-time in Florida, still manages a music lesson company here. And
Nice.
my primary market's Suffolk County. Like, I know Suffolk like the back of my hand. Wisconsin, Smithtown, St. James, Nissaquag is where I grew up. So anything over there, that's me. But I go from
Nice.
Montauk to Queens. Weekends, I'm usually in like East Hampton or Southampton. I'll drive anywhere. I have a very high mile lease that I always go over. But wherever and whenever someone needs help, I come.
How old are you, Nick?
I am 29.
29 years old, and very successful in listings. And this is a listings program. So let's get right to the secret of your secret sauce. What is the secret sauce to listings for you?
Well, for me, I think my expertise with buyers actually helps a lot with listings because like one of the first things that I do when I first go into a listing presentation is, we take a tour of the property, but I tell them I'm going to look at your property from the eyes of a buyer because I deal with so many buyers that I know what they're looking for. I know what's going to impact them. I know what's going to stand out. So I want to, without, putting down your home or don't take anything personally, but I'm going to tell you what they see so we can kind of correct that and be prepared for that. So when it comes up, it's not like, oh man, like what happened? Like, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the CO. Like, usually you even get like an appraisal beforehand just so you know exactly what's going on, because the more prepared you are, the easier it's going to be. But I mean, of course, advertising and marketing, and everyone has their different tactics and different programs and different advertising, companies that they use. But it's more about understanding the person. But
Right.
also, like, I love being a buyer's agent and I love being a listing agent as well. But I think my expertise would be more to the buying side. But the best thing about it is that's what listings need, because without buyers, your listing is no good. So and also the listing client needs a place to go. So once again, I'm back to being a buyer's agent. But for listings, we use a lot of media, a lot of the newer tech to kind of pull people in so they can see if the home is actually for you or for them, before they even walk in the door. So you don't have to, kick out all the tire kickers. You don't have to worry about people just showing up when they don't expect it. We give, you can do like the virtual walkthroughs and 3D tours to make sure that every single part of it is out there. So there's no hidden anything, I'll even put in sometimes in the listing description, second bedroom smaller than the first bedroom, or some kind of detail so they know
Right.
that was How many times have you been to a home where they're like, oh, the rooms are huge, enough room for 3 families? You get there and the rooms are like 8 by 6, and you're like,
That's
what
true.
do I do? It's like, is this the
It's
line?
that wide angle lens that they have,
And
which, by the way, is a violation of the code of ethics.
get out of here. I don't.
Sure.
I mean,
Well, you don't do it, but there's some agents that do it. They put a wide angle lens on a room and they don't show the true picture of their listings. And that's a violation of the code of ethics.
I mean, they're getting good with it, but we always like to make sure that everything is out there because we don't like people. We want positive feedback, even if it's not the best feedback. Like I have
Right.
things right now where a couple of the condos, the rooms are small. And we advertise that so when people come in, they're not like, oh my God, the room's so small. Like, you know it already. Here's a window, so it just, but as in secret sauce, it's just, I always say there's no right way to do the wrong thing. And that's with business, that's with personal, that's just making sure that you do right by everyone because why my dad always used to say, like, when someone says cutting corners, do it the right way the first time so you don't have to do it again. And that's the way that he's always lived. He's always brought my sister and myself up to live. And it's always kind of been instilled from us from the very beginning.
Your father sounds like my father. Old school Italian parent, right?
My father is Sicilian and Napolitan, so he's
Nice.
the best of both worlds.
There you go. There you go. A happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way.
After this, I have a couple of showings, and I'll be home to cook. So I'm very excited.
There you go. So, do you use any special technology in your listings?
Except for like
Marketing, that kind of thing.
or a photographer to take realistic, not wide-angle photos. But usually, there's a couple companies that we use, for either like 3 walkthroughs or something that kind of just makes it stand out. We have a couple people that we hire to do the descriptions if I can't do them myself to kind of make it a little bit more, put a little more pizzazz on it. But I just feel that doing the right thing and putting all of the truth in there. There's nothing really special. Just hear what your sellers have to say. Because when I go into listing appointment, to be totally honest, that house isn't really my main concern. Is what they want or what they're looking forward to. Because they're selling that house for a reason, but they want to move someplace for a reason. So you have to recreate what they've already established in that home somewhere brand new. So hearing about writing, I take so many notes. I actually have like an electronic notepad that allows me 80,000 pages. So I'm probably about fourth of the way there already in the past like year and a half of having it. So I take a lot of notes and I take a lot of attention to detail just because you have to really listen to what they want. Their home, they already know their home. You don't have to do anything crazy, but you have to create that feeling for someone else coming in. And then you have to create that feeling for somewhere new for them. So I think it's all about the people. I don't think there's any special sauce. It's just about
No, that is your special sauce. That's pretty good, though. You never quite look at it from a buyer's perspective. When you go in to see a seller, and when I go into my listings or prospective listing, I tell them that I'm going to look at it as a buyer, and I hope that they don't get offended. I do it pretty much similar to what you do. But as a buyer's agent, I'm a buyer's agent as well as a seller's agent, and when I never quite elaborate on that buyer perspective, so that's pretty good advice for someone like me as well.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I always just say like they're people. Like no matter what the ticket item, no matter if it's $100,000 co-op or a $10 million home, there's more than just the structure. It's a lot of the time is we're fiduciary obligated to not act emotional, not act on impulse, to pretty much do what's right for the client and service them properly. And for us to do the opposite of that, it's not helping. We have to find out more information about them, and we have to pretty much find out what they want, where they're going, why they're here, and kind of just be everything that meshes that together.
Well, let's talk about that fiduciary responsibility.
Sure.
Those fiduciary duties of to our seller. The old CAR acronym. obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accountability, reasonable care. So we all believe in all of them because those are our duties. What is your favorite one? If you had to pick one, what would be your favorite?
Accountability, probably.
Nice. I like that one. Okay.
From
Why?
the very beginning. I do a lot. I mean, a lot of agents, especially beginner agents, like I did it too when I first started. The most homes I've ever showed someone was like 22 homes. And I realized that it was my fault that we saw all those homes because I wasn't doing the right pre-framing before we went out in order to make sure, like we have to see what their criteria is, but it's never actually what they're looking for. It's always something different. They want a 3-bedroom ranch with a full finished basement. They wind up getting like a split with 6 bedrooms, and you're like, what the hell did I do here? But
yeah,
what I just accountability is setting everything from the beginning and holding them, not just holding them accountable, obviously by the title, but making sure they keep up their end of the bargain. So when I tell them, like, listen, the pre-approvals for this and all the homes that we see in the Suffolk County, Essex County, whatever market that we're in, the homes usually go for at asking or above. And that's how I also go for my listings. Like that's how the same exact kind of approach. So I tell them, hey, if you're not willing to pay asking on this property, we're not even going to go see it because I'm not going to waste your time showing you a property that's not going to make sense for you. So,
right.
And then we dive a little bit deeper. Like every conversation I have with the buyer, the first couple of conversations, are probably between like 15 and 30 minutes. Like I dive into so much detail what they want. I want 3 bedrooms, like, okay, or I want a certain amount of bedrooms, or I want this on the first floor. Like, why do you want this on the first floor? Oh, my mother's going to be coming in, so I want her, stairs and her don't get along. Like, you have to go into a lot more detail than just town, taxes, price, not a foreclosure. Boom. Like, it doesn't work like that. But there's also knowing the market, knowing certain structures. So, if one has a den or an office or has a den and then a separate living room, you can create that into a room. You can always change the inside of the house. Without expanding, you could always make certain things work. Whether it's a big family, whether it's 2 families that are kind of living together but one separate. Like everyone knows, a high ranch in Suffolk County, like 7 out of 10 of them are illegal 2-family homes or illegal 2-family homes that they just separate. That's just what happens. But you need to know structures. You need to know.
But we sell 1 families and 2 families.
Exactly. Well, I mean, Suffolk County and that.
We sell mother-daughter type of houses. We don't sell illegal houses. We sell that 1 family and 2 family. What they do after that is their illegality or legality.
Always, like I said,
I had to make that disclaimer.
Always brings me back to my main rule. Like, there's no right way to do the wrong thing, but holding them accountable is when I meet them, I give them, a folder with my information, everything in that. I say
just a little rant on that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just a little rant. But if the municipalities were more conscious of the tax base and not overtaxing people, you wouldn't find all these illegal homes, these mother-daughter type of houses. Sorry. All right. Now back to you.
I appreciate the input, but it is your show. You can interject whenever you want to.
I think I'm going to be like the next controversial talk show of real estate and start attacking people on their stuff. I don't know.
Well, conversation is always the best way to find a result. That's
yeah. Well, you and I are consummate professionals, and we want to make sure that home is in compliance for our next buyer, obviously. And we're going to have that checklist, that to-do list, and we're going to make sure that home is affordable, and we're going to make sure that the taxes are grieved, and we're going to make sure that if it's near a flood zone, we're going to double check our flood insurance. We're going to have a to-do list, and that homeowner has to rely on us to do the right thing by them. Otherwise, they'll have an unsaleable piece of property. Sure. So I love the accountability portion of our business because it not only makes us accountable to our homeowners, but it makes them accountable to us. So I like that. I really do.
I think it's the most, I don't want to say it's the most important one, but just like they're going to hold me accountable for certain things, I have to hold them accountable because we're doing this together. It's not that you just hire me to show you properties because you don't even really need me to see properties. You can just call around and Zillow it up and go from there. But the whole thing is it's a service that I offer that's greater than just doing it by yourself. And in my personal opinion, I do it very well. And
No, they still need us. Homeowners need us. And the fact that they bypass or try to bypass a consumer and go right to another entity to try to get the house sold, I think is pretty ridiculous because if you don't give an agent an opportunity to show their skills off to a homeowner and say, you really need this professional here. You need this professional to keep you accountable,
of course,
and that's where the accountability portion comes in. And they've listed with you, they've listed with me, because they've given up on those portals that will not wave the magic wand or show them how to sell their home. And I'm glad for that, because if they did, then there wouldn't be any reason for us. We're in the real estate business. This is our profession. Here, here.
And it's not as simple as a lot of people think. I mean, HGTV and all those shows, they make it seem so simple. You know, I saw a house and 3 minutes later, I got it for $80,000 under asking, and I'm paying cash, and it's closed 3 days later. Like, no.
Fantasy TV, television. As far as I'm
concerned,
I
love it because we make it seem like, because they have us, we make it seem that simple. Like,
yeah,
I know a lot of the time when people just they send it out to the lender, they send it out to the inspector, and they just kind of let everyone other party do their job. But I call the attorney every single day. I call the lender every single day. Like, I'm very well connected with the people that are in our deal because I want to make sure that's going well for them, because that's my fiduciary obligation to you. But I love it. I love the seeing everyone's face on the table and they're happy.
So tell me what, if you were a new agent or you were speaking to a new agent, what would be your best advice? I mean, you didn't always start as a top lister. You had to start somewhere. And where did you start? How did you get listings so quickly, or how did you become a listing pro?
Persistence. The one thing that everyone's going to have to do, you're going to have to make a ton of cold calls, whether it's circle prospecting, expired FSBOs, but every company gives, here are our scripts, here's our program that we do, here's this, here's that, but everyone in your office is going to be calling the same people from the same leads, and you have to stand out, you have to be different. But whether it's door knocking or cold calling, you just have to keep going. At mailers, I still do mailers today, just because I want to be at every single possible access point to the homeowner or to people looking to buy, because you never know. Like, I've gone, your sphere of influence can only go so far. But if you're not known as, the realtor, no one's going to call. Like, we've all had friends and acquaintances that we've met that, we haven't talked to in a few months, and then they post, oh, first time homeowner, here's my new house. Like, and we didn't know where we went wrong, because they didn't think realtor, they didn't think Nicholas de Visconte or Joe Sonoma. They didn't think of that immediately. And that's your own fault. So one thing I just have to say to anyone that's new is find the support that you need, but rely on yourself. You can't rely on anyone else in this industry. If you sit home and play video games, you sit home and watch Netflix, or just do something and go out with your friends, it's enjoyable, but you're not making any money. You're not doing anything for tomorrow. So what you have to do is you have to hunker down, and like, I don't go out. We go out to dinner a couple times, a couple times a month, but it's work. I'm a 4:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. kind of guy. Between 10 p.m.
I was just going to ask you what time you wake up in the morning.
I'm a little bit of an alarm freak. So 4:30 I wake up. Like, I have probably like 9 or 10 alarms throughout the day. So wow. 4:30 wake up, 4:45 leave for the gym, 5 I'm at the gym. As soon as they open, I leave around like 6:15, 6:30, get home, shower, start doing malwares or prospecting or looking at FSBOs expired from 7 till 8, study a little bit, start cold calling, anywhere between like 8 and 9. Then you have a couple different times throughout the day where you have appointments.
Go, and I like this business plan of yours. Go ahead. No, you know why? Because I teach business planning, and I want people to hear your schedule. What is your typical schedule after 9 o'clock? You cold call?
What is that? After 9 o'clock, you cold call for like hour, 2 hours, depending on what you're doing. Then, you can hit your sphere. Then you can, I love circle prospecting because, people that have physically expired, they're going to get so many like phone calls the entire day that they're just going to want, they're not going to answer even if you had the best pitch in the world. But call random people like, oh, you drive by a neighborhood, I like that house. Go on to, like geodata is a source that some people use, or whatever program that you have to get the information. Buy a program. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. That is the one.
Do you subscribe to RedX?
I do not. I know some of the brokerages do.
Yeah.
I pay for a couple other programs that give me the resource, same as that kind of resource. I just like that program better. But you can't be afraid to invest, whether it's $50 a month or $400 or $1,000 a month or even more. You have to invest in things, but actually use them. If you get them for free from your brokerage or from the team, you're never actually going to, I feel, you're never actually really going to use it. It's there. It's like, okay, but if you start paying for it monthly yourself, you're going to use that every single day, whether it's, leads or whether it's information to call leads. But like the other day I was driving, I think it was in East Hampton on Saturday. No, on Sunday I was driving in East Hampton. I love this one block. It was phenomenal. So took down the address, geodated it up, got all the information, got all the things, and I'm gonna send out mailers. I'm gonna give them a call. I'm gonna find out their information. I'm gonna call as many numbers I can find on them, and I'm just going to put in the work because it's.
Now, what time of day was that?
That's probably between like 10 and 12. You can.
So you don't strictly cold call or call for sale by owners expireds between 9 and 12. You don't do like a 3-hour stint. You do like an hour.
I would say whatever time frame works best, minimally an hour per category, because if you don't have it all listed there, it's going to be like, if you want to get like 30 calls in an hour, like what are you really doing? So you're making minimally 200 to 500 calls a day. Obviously investing in a dialer will help out a lot, but you just have to be known. If you call them every single week or every couple of days, or if you send out mailers to their house every single month, you're not going away. People never follow up. I called once, okay, give up. I left a voicemail. People don't leave voicemails. I think that is the most craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I know a lot of agents that don't leave voicemails. Like, why are you calling?
They don't leave voicemails. You leave voicemails.
Every single call that I make, no matter who it is, even if I know, like I would call you and I will leave you a voicemail. Like it just, like if someone calls me and doesn't leave a voicemail or text or follows up with a text or email, it clearly wasn't important. So I'm not like, why?
Do you do a lot of texting with your clientele or future clientele? Do you text them too?
So I'm a little bit of a nut when it comes to getting in there. So I'll call you. I'll leave you a nice voicemail with my number a couple different times in it. I'll follow, and I always say, and I'll follow up this voicemail with a text. So then I'll text you, same kind of thing. Then I'll also text you my business card. And then if I have your email, I'll probably wait like an hour or a couple hours, and then I'll message that as well, because you don't want to unload everything. But every possible way that I do, I always add them. Even if I get a lead, I'll go on social media and I'll add you as a friend so you can see that I'm real. Because let's face it, if someone randomly cold calls you, whether it's a company or a service or something they're trying to sell you or help you out with, you Google them. So if I make it easier. I put a face to the name every single time. I'll even record videos sometimes and I'll send it to them via email. Say, hey, this is Nicholas Visconte with blah, blah, blah realty. And I just wanted, I saw that your house expired and whatever your spiel is going to be, or, hey, I just want to know if you ever considered selling or even had thought about it or a conversation. Whatever your pitch is, but you can't make it a pitch.
Yes.
This is Nicholas Visconte from 123 Realty, and I just saw that your house expired yesterday, and I know you're getting answer calls. Like, no one wants to hear that crap. Like, if you were a seller, like, I had this one voicemail. I called this woman for a year and a half because I'm trying to remember what her voicemail was. It was something with like one of like the Marvel characters. It was like, hi, you've reached Superwoman. I'm not here today. Like, but give me a call back when I was like, hello. I was like, I left her some kind of weird voicemail. But I kept on sending her comic book references and like superhero references. And she finally called me back. She's like, you don't stop. I'm like, no, like because you called me back finally. But
that's funny. When I was a new agent in real estate and I was trying to get listings, I came up with the most stupidest but clever idea. I watched my nephew color in Captain America. Okay. So I took the Captain America picture, and
Okay.
it has the shield. It has the shield, and he's like this. And I cut his head off, and I put a picture of my head there.
Okay.
Boom. And I put, when it comes to listing, selling, renting, let Joe Sonona be your super agent. So I just reminded me of what I used to do. And then I had 14 listings in 3 weeks going door to door with that stupid flyer, the business card attached to it. And then people were calling me up and asking for the super agent.
That's awesome. You have to be different.
That's how I launched my career that way, because I almost gave up on listings. I actually hated listings. Now, I want to switch subjects. You've been turning left and right in the camera, and I noticed that there is a man bun on your head.
Yes. So
So talk about that and how you market yourself now.
there is a lot of hair. My hair actually goes down to about here.
Holy mackerel.
I actually donated 10 inches about 3 months ago.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah, so locks
For
of
locks for love?
Yeah.
Is that what they call them? Yeah.
It's
Good for you.
as I always say, if you have it, just donate it. It's worth it. But I don't really wear it down that much. But every event that I go to, every place that I go to, you never see any realtors with a man bun. So I've been on a couple different things. I just created some new social medias with, at the Man Bun Realtor. There's a couple of things that are in process to kind of, label that as me, because some people even that I know today just, knew me as, the agent with the man bun in the suit. Like they always thought like man bun, man bun, man bun. And I don't, a lot of friends that I have don't have a man bun, and a lot of people know me by it. And they've seen videos of me with my hair down, and they love it, I was thinking, the Tarzan realtor, the this, the that, but the man bun realtor, something like that. It's funny. People will remember it, and it's just, you got to have a little fun. So it's just
Fun, marketing, technology, skills. These are all the things that encompass our real estate world. You gave advice for a new agent. How about for an agent like me who's been in the business 30 years? How would you redefine Joe Sonona?
I mean, I just think just be you originally and never be afraid to try different things. Like I know a lot of beginner, middle, and like older agents that they're stubborn. They don't want to try new things. They're like, no, I like the way I'm doing it. But if you're still unhappy, then there's always ways to try things. Like living in the uncomfortable zone is the only way to live, because if you're content, then like why even complain about it, or why try and pursue more? Like I have a lot of things that I want to do in my life and a lot of things that I want to own, and like I want to own my own island, and I want to build a luxury resort on it, and that you need about 10 plus million to kind of establish that, to really get that going. So like you have to have very big goals, very big whys, but no matter where you are in the industry,
So is that 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now?
say 5. So when I do it in 3, it'll be a little bit better. But I just, more importantly, I mean, the Italian way. I want to take care of my family and take care of my parents. I'm the only Visconte here in New York still, so I'm holding down the fort. The rest of my family's in Georgia or Florida, but I want to take care of them. I want to help the people that I care about, and I just want to be known as the Man Bun Realtor, but as someone that they can count on and recommend. I just
Cool.
helping people, like seeing someone's face at the closing table when the whole process they've been upset, and see like happy tears, and they hug you and give you a kiss on the cheek, and they just like, I can't even tell you. I have a couple of clients now. Remember that client I told you about earlier that I showed like 22 houses and he was a little crazy?
Yes.
Love the guy. Won't put him on blast here, but I go to his house every Christmas Eve. He's Italian, so he said, if you don't come over here and have my wife's cooking on Christmas Eve, I will be royally offended, and we're gonna be in like an argument.
And they become friends. Yeah.
There, he was referring me like 14 different clients. And some of his family, some other friends, but just take all of absorb all their pain. Like we're not supposed to be emotional here, no matter where you are in the industry, no matter how old you are, how long you've been in there. Be there for the people, because they will be there for you. Just do the right thing.
That's how we roll, right? Well, we're out of time, and I just want to thank you, Nick, for being on this program. You have certainly made my day today. And I want you to know that you probably inspired a lot of new agents, a lot of older agents today with your philosophy and the way you portray yourself as a real estate agent. And I think you're going to go very far in your real estate career.
Thank you.
You've hit the top 20 under 40 mark at YPN for the Long Island Board of Realtors. You have a very successful career ahead of you.
Thank
And
you.
I want to wish you good luck in it. And maybe we'll have you back here on the part 2 of our Coffee Talk program. You follow a great amount of leaders in not just this program, but in the real estate world.
Thank you. Yeah, I thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure talking to you this morning. Thanks, Joe.
Joe Sonona with Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros in Real Estate. Sonona Speaks Seminars. Look for my next guest coming up. And on Facebook, follow us at Facebook with Sonona Speaks Seminars. And we air this program weekly at 11 o'clock on Facebook for all the listing agents out there or any realtor out there who wants tips and tricks on how to get more listings. Thanks, Nick, and have a good day, okay?
You too. Thanks, Joe.
Take care. Bye-bye.